We're live from the Spero Clinic with an amazing graduation today. Josh, I'm very proud of you. You have worked so hard since day one. We had some setbacks, and you never gave up hope. You worked through every single setback that was thrown at you and still came through with flying colors. I'm very excited for you to get back to your life, get to reach the top shelf, and just do all the things that you want to do with your life now. So congratulations, and I'll give you the floor.
Thank you. Well, hey, everyone. First off, I just want to thank everyone for being here. In person, online, supporting me and my family. And it just means the world to me for you guys to be here and watching on this special day for me. I want to take a couple minutes and just really talk about my journey. Brought me here and to this moment, to ringing the bell, and what has been the hardest fight of my life that I wasn't expecting and I wasn't ready for. So back in late 2023, out of nowhere, I started experiencing extreme pain in my hip and my leg. We were rushed to the ER, hoping that we would find some answers and some relief. And after tons of tests and medication, they chalked it up to back pain or nerve issues and sent me home with some meds. That moment kicked off a very long, painful journey. I began bouncing around from doctor to doctor, pain management, neurologists, spine surgeons, going through tests, shots, minor procedures, tons of different medications, lumbar punctures, EMGs, and more. Nothing helped. My left leg became completely unusable. I was literally dragging it behind me. And eventually I had to go into a chair. After ruling out a long list of possible conditions, the initial consensus was that I needed spine surgery. We weren't sold on that. We went to one of the top neurosurgeons in Phoenix, and that second opinion saved me because we figured out what the first diagnosis was: avascular necrosis. The blood supply in my hip joint had failed, and I had, at that point, completely lost my hip bone in terms of bone death, and it had collapsed on itself. My right hip had it too. The only option was immediate need for surgery, and we scheduled the first one and planned the next one right after. We took a deep breath, scheduled the surgeries, and geared up to just figure this out head on. After my first surgery, something went wrong. I was in the hospital for about a week. I was unable to bear weight when they said, "You'll be fine. You'll be able to get up right afterwards." That was not my story. My pain was off the charts, and when we finally got home, things only got worse. My pain became so unbearable, I started developing severe tremors and severe allodynia. Even the lightest touch, wind, I even say if you looked at it wrong, it hurt. My legs started to becoming cold, changing colors. I stopped growing hair, and I really felt like I was losing control of my body. When we returned to the surgeon, desperate for answers, we asked, "Hey, why am I not walking?" And he said, "Surgery was a success. You tell me why. Why aren't you walking?" We were devastated. But we didn't give up. We regrouped, found an inpatient rehab center, and figured some therapy would help get me around the corner. There was a little bit of progress, but when I got home again, drastically got worse. We searched and found new doctors, new specialists, new hope. I was in constant pain. My body kept throwing new symptoms in there that couldn't be explained. We were scared. Eventually, we got into the Mayo Clinic. We thought, this is it. This is our saving grace. 8 departments and every test that they could run later, we finally heard what was happening. CRPS, complex regional pain syndrome. We were crushed. We hear there is no cure. It spreads. It's the suicide disease. Our hearts broke. We gave Mayo's pain rehabilitation program a shot, desperate for anything to work. And from the start, it got worse. No one had CRPS. It was a classroom-based program with no PT, and they started taking the meds that were keeping me living away. Eventually, I was getting so sick and violent tremors every night, they told me I wasn't a good fit. They ended it early. That was our final hope. I had no backup plan. When I returned home, it continued to just get worse and worse. The tremors became so uncontrollable. The swelling started getting extremely worse. My foot started to curl, and it moved to my right leg. I kept working to support my family. I was on over 80 pills a day to survive. I sunk into a very deep depression. I spent many, many days and hours every day alone in a dark room. Suicide started to feel like the only way out, especially when we began discussing amputation of both my legs. But then, one more light. We remembered a place that we had researched earlier called Spero. We were out of options. We made the call, set up the meetings, and did whatever we had to do to get here as soon as possible. Arriving at Spero, I was filled with hope, fear, doubt. During my first NMR, Carson and the team really got to see how bad my tremors were. You didn't flinch, but you were scared. As the treatments continued, I started developing new pain in my shoulder. I thought, okay, it might just be some CRPS. Let's just keep going, and I'm in the best spot. I was encouraged to go get it checked out, and the MRI revealed that I now had avascular necrosis in my left shoulder, and the bone had already died and collapsed while I was trying to work through it. One thing I didn't even put in my notes, but I want you all to know is if you can work through bone death and collapse, that's how bad CRPS really is. Before locking in my surgery, we also had to check my right hip because originally they would not operate on it due to how bad my CRPS was. Of course, more bad news. The hip is dead and collapsed. I have 2 joints at this point that are completely dead, collapsed, while I'm trying to do everything I can to get better. We built a very aggressive surgical plan and to do both surgeries back to back. I had just gotten out of a sling before I went in to get my hip done. The team here at Spero was great though. Though not common, we figured out a solution to just attack these head on and figure out how best can I protect myself from spreading on CRPS. My family jumped into action. We figured out a support plan, and I went right into the first surgery. As I was starting to recover from my shoulder, something amazing happened. I started to be able to use my legs. The tremors became a little bit less noticeable day by day. I started to be able to do little things that were giant leaps for me. In my sling, I took my first steps. They weren't pretty, but they were steps. I refused to let those surgeries be a setback and saw them more as a road bump in my road here at Spero. I want to say this clearly. I would not have made it through without my family, Spero staff, and really the community here supporting me. I was not prepared for surgery. To the families and the patients here, you guys really are the secret sauce. The community the help, just being there at any given time. And even though you're going through the world and sacrificed everything to be here, you never left me hanging. Let's go on to some thank yous to my wife, Raquel. You're my rock, my best friend. You're my partner through hell and back. You never left my side. You never let me quit. Thank you for every sleepless night, every doctor appointment, every tear, every prayer. We did it. I'm coming home, and I can't wait to start this way better of a chapter. To my parents, thank you for the support, the research, the errands, the endless logistics, all the new needs that came up throughout all of this. You never hesitated to jump in from the beginning, and we couldn't have done this without you. To my extended family of siblings, uncles, aunts, this wasn't just us. I needed more help. Your visits, your love, your going out of your way to help me got me here and helped me on every step that I needed as well. I will never forget that. To our friends, co-workers, extended family, you guys kept me afloat. All the different messages, the cards, the encouragement, you were always there. To my company, my company leaders, Frank, Ron, and John, they never gave up on me. Not only did they support me professionally, they cared personally. And I have a job I'm going back to. And I didn't know if I would. To the Spero staff, I appreciate you more than you'll ever know. Every protocol, every adjustment, every tough love moment, you made me feel seen, heard, and human again. Though I didn't like NMR when you turned it up. Dr. T, thank you for the laughter, the direction, coming alongside me and the family when there was new things we weren't prepared for, and getting me prepared, but also giving me the confidence it was going to be okay. Carson, you had a journey from day one, man. But you never gave up on me, and you kept pushing, and we started working it out. I will always appreciate that. To Katie, Bailey, Misa, Casey, I pretty much work with everyone here at NMR. Thank you for just coming up with new solutions, different ideas, different eyes. Again, you surrounded me when I needed it the most. Jacob, I appreciate the laughs. I will always send you great music. And I will never forget that smile as you torture the hell out of us. To Tyler and Sierra, I learned so much. You answered every question. You made me feel seen, made me feel human, and I will always remember our laughter. Shane and Hayden, thanks for the early days on microcurrent, having fun, letting me know that it's going to be okay. And I learned something new. I didn't know that you could make squirrel dumplings. That's for you, Hayden. For the front desk and the runners, thank you for starting every day with a smile. You guys do so much around here that sometimes goes unnoticed, but I noticed, and I appreciate it. To every single patient and family that I've met here, you reminded me that even in the darkest times, there is light, there is laughter, there is love, and most important, there is life. You inspired me every day and reminded me that it's okay to live. You are all warriors, and I'm honored to call you my friends. This journey has taught me how fragile and how precious life really is, and health. Walking, jumping, golfing, laughing, loving. These are not small things. They're everything. And thanks to Spero, they're back in my life. To anyone that's still fighting here, don't give up. Show up. Push yourself every day. And I can't wait to see you ringing the bell next. You damn right I will be watching. Can't wait to live again. I really appreciate you guys being here for me.